Is the media fake? Welcome to the Tony Martin Experience. If you are new to this channel, click the subscribe button now, or you may forget and miss out on future uploads, and join in the community on this channel in debates on how we can have a better society and, I believe, a better political system. There are many news reports both in print and on the TV that are known to be untrue. Many of them have tried to backtrack and say sorry, but what can we as readers and viewers do about it? Many times we look at the newspapers and think to ourselves, what a crock of shit. The BBC are now launching an investigation into the fake news industry as it is a threat to our democracy. It's being aimed at Facebook and Twitter and other platforms online with regards to see if advertising promotes and encourages people to release fake news. Damien Collins, the chairman of the committee for the investigation, has said the trend represents a threat to democracy and undermines confidence in the media in general. But what's being targeted is the little known websites and social media platforms, some of the big ones, but what about some of the other major players in this area that have a role to play with the stories that they churn out? And the major players don't always have the best intentions at heart. A report was done last year by the Media Reform Coalition, and they claimed that three major publishers control 71% of the UK national newspaper market. We know, and it has been proven, that these publishers and many of the print media are biased to our political parties and print stories with an attitude in relation to the party that they are supporting at the time. But just two companies, Rupert Murdoch's News Corp UK and Lord Rothermere's Daily Mail Group, control nearly 60% of national newspaper circulation. If you include online and mobile readers, the situation isn't that much better, with five companies accounting for 80% of all consumption online and offline. With the fact that it is not currently illegal to lie on the news, our minds are quite literally their oyster. The conclusion of this report was this: we want to see elections and referenda, as well as economic debates and military interventions, covered in a way that does not favour the most powerful voices or the status quo. And then we need to change media ownership rules if we want to lay the foundations for a media that represents the full diversity of the UK population in relation to its opinions, its makeup, its communities, and indeed its constituent nations. Then we need to take action to curb media power. Politicians lie, and that gets fed to our media as well. Many politicians have been proven to lie. Tony Blair on the Iraqi war is both famous and a proven example. Politicians have been found out to lie on the expenses scandal, and this, albeit very slightly, was covered up by a few media companies. Parts of the media supporting the Tories would lie about Labour, and vice versa. But something not in this country, but still news, is the fact that a group of Romanians protested against the corrupt government in their country. The protest started with a near 12,000 Romanian protesters taking to the streets outside the government building in the capital on Tuesday, and increased to well over 250,000 on Friday. The reason for the protest and apparent double standards of the government that it created for itself: no longer is it illegal to take a bribe, for example, so long as the amount does not exceed €45,000, and that's crazy. Also, the measure sets free from prison many politicians who were doing time for corruption, and apparently, and I've had a look at the media within the country, and pretty much all of it remains silent. So it is happening everywhere. In our country, the government also have a relationship with our media, and somewhat of an influence, I would say. The Daily Mail being one of them, owned and controlled by Lord Rothermere. Lord Rothermere, who rarely gives interviews, but in 2004 he told The Independent his views were not necessarily those of the Daily Mail. and said he did not have the right to second guess his editors. Can't second guess his editors. But he provided Lord Leveson with details of a number of cosy lunches and dinners with politicians, including Tony Blair, Gordon Brown, David Cameron and Nick Clegg. And no doubt Theresa May can now be added to that list if she hasn't been already. Asked why politicians wanted to meet him, he said they sometimes feel the paper's been hard on them, and asked him to have some sort of influence. Some sort of influence. Influence over who? Over how we think and how we should vote, I would say. Isn't that one line alone a threat to our democracy? So it's not just the websites and social media platforms that are being indicated that are fake news. Remember this tweet about this event. This was in the news as well. And did you believe it? If you're in France, was you fearful that this may well escalate again? Well, I was sent something from someone in regards to this, someone being quite close to the attack at the time, and no doubt knew more about it and was there quicker than many of the news companies. This person's report is out there in the public, but it's not my place to mention her name, and you may well have seen it. If not, this is what she said. Dear Mr. Trump, thank you for your concern. Now remember, these are her words. She wrote them. A man has indeed attacked a soldier with 2 machetes this morning in Paris. It wasn't the Louvre Museum, it was in the Carousel du Louvre, which is a mall, less symbolic than what you're implying. He didn't attack any tourists or French people apart from this soldier either, by the way. Thank you again for your concern. And he was instantly attacked back by another soldier and wounded. The crowd has been kept inside after that order by the army for security reasons, but not for any kind of hostage situation. France is not on edge again at all. I learnt about the attack 10 hours after it happened, even though it was in the media earlier. And I spent 1 hour and 30 minutes in another mall in Paris at lunch today without any kind of military reinforcement. Oh, and by the way, the man is from Egypt. You know, the country you didn't ban from entering the US because of your personal affairs. Again, thank you for your concern, but don't use France as an excuse for your arseholery. You're the one encouraging fear with your distortion of the truth. Why do powers that be, both in this country and elsewhere, need to do this? Again, these are her words. Even Jean-Claude Juncker has said that this is okay to promote news stories like this. And he has said before, when it becomes serious, you have to lie, he said. In May 2011, he told a meeting of the Federalist European movement that he often had to lie, and that the Eurozone monetary policy should be discussed in secret, dark debates. What chance do we actually have? Our newspapers tell lies. They are controlled by self-gratifying billionaires who try to influence the pages at the request of our leaders. The BBC is launching an investigation into online fake news. So which way do we turn? Where do we get our information from? How do we even know what we actually think is right? Our subconscious mind will pick up most things said to it. We just have to decipher it and try and make sense of what we think may be true. But I say this, in light of what I have said about newspapers and the media as we know it, and the graphics that have been popping up, are the BBC in fact launching an investigation? Not because the online sites and social media platforms are fake, but in fact because a majority of them are in fact real, and it's undermining the very illusion that the more prominent figures in our media are trying to pull out in front of our eyes. All the media and politicians ever talk about is the things that separate us, things that make us different from each other. Thanks for watching. Click the thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, click the bell so you get notified when I upload, and I will see you again next time. Bye bye for now.